Hey everyone, it's Priscilla from This Queen Crochet, and today I'll be showing you all how to create my Peace and Love applique. If you are looking for the granny square pattern, you're on the wrong video, and that's okay. I will link the granny square pattern below, but if you're here for the heart, you're in the right place. Alright, let's get into the video. So what you're going to need for this project is a 3.75mm crochet hook or size F, worsted weight yarn, and a darning needle to sew in your ends, and some scissors. Alright, so let's get started. First thing you're going to want to do is make a slip knot and put it on your hook. Like so. And then you're going to want to chain 6. If you don't know any of the stitches that I mentioned, I will link tutorials for them all below. Alright, we have chain 6. And you're going to skip the first chain on your hook, this one, and we're going to go into the second chain on the hook. The chains look like V's. And into that second chain, we're going to do a single crochet, and we're going to do a single crochet in the other 4 chains on our hook. Alright, so in total we're going to have 5 single crochets so far with our work. Now we're going to turn our work, which is just flipping it like this. We're going to chain 1, and we're going to single crochet in those 5 chains again. And we're going to do this for a total of 5 rows. So we already did 1 row, now we're on row 2, and we're going to do, after the second row, we're going to do 3 more rows of single crochet. And I'll catch up with you all after I have done row 5 of single crochet. Alright, so I just finished row 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of single crochets. I'm going to turn my work right after I finish that row. And now we're going to skip the first 2 chains. You can see we have chain there, chain there. We're going to go into the 3rd chain, but into that 3rd chain, we're going to do 6 treble crochet stitches, and we're not going to chain 1 at the beginning. We're just going to jump right into doing 6 treble crochets into that 3rd stitch. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. All right, now that I've done 6 treble crochets into that stitch, I'm going to do a slip stitch into this part right here. It's kind of in between the chain 1 and the single crochet of that last row that we did. So we're not going to go right into here. We're going to go right in between the stitch and this kind of chain 1 we did. So kind of just smack in there. Do a nice tight slip stitch. Not too tight, but tight enough so where it kind of sinks in right there. So now we just did the first bump of our heart. Bump, I don't know what else to call it. So now we're going to do another 6 treble crochet, and we're going to do it into that 3rd row of single crochets that we did. And that 3rd row is like kind of like right here. So we're going to do 6 treble crochets into that 3rd row. Alright, now that we've done 6 treble crochets into that middle part, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, we're going to do another slip stitch into that first single crochet right there at the next corner, or basically into that single crochet or into just the corner of your square, the next corner. Do a nice, tight, but not too tight slip stitch. Alright, and here's our heart so far. Alright, now we're going to chain 1 and single crochet into the next 4 stitches. 1, 2, 3, 4. So not into that single crochet we just slip stitched into, but the next 4 single crochets. And the way I do is kind of put it kind of in the middle. There's like an upside down V. You can't, it's kind of a little bit hard to see. But I kind of just single crochet right into the middle of that stitch. You can do it whatever way you find easiest, because it will look good either way. All right, so we have 1, 2, 3, 4. And now we're going to do a 3 single crochets into the tippy top corner of our heart. So right here, we're going to do 3 single crochets. All right, now after we do that, we are going to single crochet 4 more into the next 4 single crochets of the next side of our heart. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm going to single crochet into those 4 rows on the side of them. All right, so I single crocheted into the next 4 rows that we did right there. So we have the 3 single crochet in the corner and then 4 more single crochet. So now we are going to start single crocheting into those treble crochets we did right here on the bump of the heart. So into the first treble crochet, make sure you don't skip it, we're going to do a single crochet into it, just like that. And then into the next 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, we're going to increase in each of those treble crochets. And by increase, I just mean do 2 single crochets into the next 4 treble crochets. So we have 2 in that one, 2 in that one, and so into the next 4, make sure you do 2 single crochets into each of them. If you lose count, just go back and double check. So I did 1, 2, 3, 4. Yep, I did 4 increases into those last 4. And we are going to single crochet into the next treble crochet. And now we should have single crocheted into all of the treble crochets from that hump. And we are going to do a slip stitch into the same spot that we did the other slip stitch originally into. So remember we did the 6 double crochet before, and then we slip stitch into that corner of the heart. We are going to slip stitch into that same spot. All right, so into the next group of treble crochets that we did before, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We're going to single crochet into the first one, and then we are going to do 4 treble crochets into the next 4. We're going to do the increases again. So into the next 4 treble crochets, do 2 single crochets into each of them. All right, so I've done my increases, and then I'm going to do a single crochet into the next treble crochet. And then I'm going to do a slip stitch into that first single crochet that we did when we started this border area. So the first single crochet we did, you should see it right there. We're going to do a slip stitch into that. All right, and now we have completed our heart. Now I'm going to show you how to do a chain sewing stitch so we can make the peace sign on our heart. All right, so get a nice size piece of string. I'm using white. This is the color I want the peace sign to be and the border of the heart to be. Alrighty, I'm going to get my darning needle. I'm going to just pull a little tail through, not too long, something like that. So I forgot to fasten off my heart. I will sew in those ends later because that's the kind of person that I am. So we got our darning needle, and we're going to start basically right here at the little center of our heart. So you're going to get your needle, you're going to poke it through the back underneath that slip stitch we did right there earlier. So right about here. Hopefully that's helpful. Y'all can see where I'm putting it in at. And I'm going to pull it through. Obviously not all the way through. You want to have a little tail at the end to sew in later. Just like that. And I'm going to put my needle back into the same spot. Now when I do that, I'm not going to pull all the way through. I'm going to leave a little loop. Just like that. Don't do it too small. And then I'm going to put my needle up through where I want this stitch to end and where I want the next one to start. So let's see where I want to do it. I would say we're going straight down for the middle part of our peace sign. I'm going to put it, I don't want them to be too small but not too big, like right here. And then I'm going to put it through that loop. Make sure it's caught in the back. And we're going to pull, not super tight, but we're going to pull it so that we create our first chain stitch. Isn't that so cute? I love this stitch. All right, so to do the next chain stitch, I'm going to put my needle back into the same hole. Hopefully you're catching the drift here. Well, you will eventually. Leave a loop. Don't pull all the way through. Go down below to where I want my next stitch to start and where I want this one to end. Put my needle back up through the middle of the heart and pull. Not the middle of the heart, the middle of the loop and pull. And mine never come out super straight. Hopefully y'all can do better than me. And we're going to just continue that all the way down. I'll show y'all one more time. Put it through the middle, back to the same hole you put it through. Make a loop, go down to where you want the next stitch to start, put it up through that loop, through the back, and pull. All right, and I'll meet y'all down here at the end of the heart where we're going to end. I'll show y'all where I end at and how I end off this chain stitch. All right, so this is where I ended my chain stitch. I put my last stitch in right below that bottom stitch right there. I ended it right there. I didn't go into it, just right below it. So I pulled it tight. Here's our first cute little line. And now I'm going to finish this off by entering my needle right past where this chain stitch ends, or right here, right below it, right below this stitch and right in between that. Shaky cam. This tripod is so shaky, like every time you touch it, it just moves. All right, that's how I end that off. Looks absolutely perfect. I'm going to cut this off and weave it in later. We're going to want to weave in all these ends soon, but you know. So if your string's long enough, we can go on to the next part. If not, cut another string. So to go on to the little side pieces, some people might want to go like this, so they're just using one strand of yarn, but I like going like this so that my chains are all facing the same direction. So where I like to start off this is right about here, going down. Obviously, it depends on how long or big you made yours. I kind of want to start kind of in the middle of the heart to go down. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put my needle right up in there. Leave a tail in the back, as always, to sew in later. Put my sewing needle back into the same hole. Leave a loop. I'm going to start heading diagonal. So I'm going to go right over here. Oop, got some hair in there, as per usual. And I'm going to continue this until I get to, I would say I'm going to head towards this stitch. I'm going to end it right before I get into that stitch, and I will catch up with you guys there. All right, here I am at the end. I did not go into the stitch, but I ended right before it. I'm going to end it just like I ended the other one by putting it right there, right past that last chain stitch that we did. Actually, move it over a little bit. All right, so now we're going to do the same thing on this side, and I will catch up with you guys when we get to the end of that. If you forgot how to do the chain stitch, just rewind and watch that part again. All right, so here's how it looks. And now it's time to sew in all of those ends. Trust me, you're going to want to do it now. All right, now that sewing in the ends are done, we can move on to creating the border for our peace and love heart. Okay, so now I'm going to grab my white yarn. All right, so now you're going to get your border yarn. For me, it's going to be white, and I'm going to put a slip knot onto my hook. Okay, so now the slip knot is on my hook. I'm going to get my heart and flip it upside down. And we're going to start working into this top corner, like straight up right in the corner. That's where we're going to start working up for our border. Into that stitch, we're going to do 3 single crochets. Just know that in advance. The first one we're going to do into it is going to be into the back loop of the stitch. 1 single crochet. All right. And now we are going to go into the middle of this chain sewing stitch and do another single crochet. So I'm putting it right in the middle. Might be a little difficult. Just push it through. All right. Into that same stitch, gonna have to kind of, find it a little bit. It's kind of back there. We're gonna want to do another single crochet. Like literally, you can just kind of like turn back and kind of go back a little bit. You don't want to go into the next stitch. You kind of just want to put your hook back there somewhere. Just saying, like literally I went like this and I'm doing another single crochet. So we don't want to go into the next stitch on accident. All right, single crochet. Now we have 3. Now we're going to continue single crocheting until we get to the increases over here. But I'm going to show you what we're going to do when we get to that next chain stitch. So we're going to start back loop single crocheting into the next few single crochet until we get to the stitch that is right above that chain stitch. And instead of back loop single crocheting into it, we're going to do a single crochet into the middle of that chain stitch. Like so. And now we're going to single crochet in the back loops of all the stitches until we get to those increase stitches that we did before. So the increase stitches were where we did 2 single crochet into 1 stitch. Now, into the first single crochet of that increase, do a regular single crochet, but into the second single crochet, see this increase, the second one, do 2 single crochet into the back loop of that stitch. And on every second single stitch, basically of the increase, so 1 single crochet into that one, 2 into this one, 1 into that one, 2 into this one, and so forth. So we're going to be doing 4 more increases basically. So into the first one I did a single crochet into the back loop. Into the second stitch of that increase, I'm going to do 2 single crochets into the back loop. We're going to basically keep doing this until we get past those 4 increases. So next one, 1 single crochet, then 2 single crochet, 1 single crochet, 2 single crochet. And that means that we have added 4 more stitches. As you can see, we got 1, then 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. That's 4 more stitches. All right, into the next single crochet stitch, we're going to do a regular single crochet into the back loop. So into that next stitch, we're not going to go into that slip stitch. Instead, we're going to do a single crochet into that chain stitch right there, right into the middle of it. 1 single crochet, like so. All right, into the next single crochet, we're going to do a regular single crochet. And then we're going to do the same thing we did before with these increases. Into the second stitch of increase, we're going to do an increase. So to the first one, regular single crochet in the back loop. Into the second one, 2 single crochets in the back loop. So this way we will be adding 4 more stitches to the border of this heart. All right, so I've added 4, as you can see. We've got an increase here, increase here, increase here, and increase here. Now I'm going to do a regular single crochet into the back loop of the next few stitches. Make sure I'm not adding any here. It's kind of hard to see what I did before. There we go. And then when I get to the stitch where the chain stitch is beneath it, instead of back looping into that, I'm going to do a single crochet into the middle of that chain stitch. Ooh, a little bit better than that. There we go. All right, and a single crochet into the next few. All right, now that we made it to the end, we are going to do a slip stitch into that first single crochet that we did. And we're going to fasten off. We're going to sew in our ends. And there we have our peace and love heart. Thank you guys so much for watching, and have a wonderful day, my crochet kings and queens. Don't forget to subscribe and like and comment below if you want to see more crochet tutorials.